Welcome to Construction Champions Podcast, where we are burning the house down and rebuilding it twice a week. I'm your host, Rod Nussbaum, and I am here to help you become the champion that you're meant to be. Along with our amazing guests along the way, we will provide you with the resources, the latest and greatest. You will sit down with disruptors in the construction industry. And my goal from day one has always been to change the mindset around the construction industry. No more where we let the 3% of bad apes dictate the entire reputation of. All right, construction champions, we're here for another amazing episode. Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. Once again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. You guys listen, but you don't hit that button, and we need you to hit that button so you can stay updated on the most current things that are happening with the Construction Champions podcast, so we can help make you into the champion that you're meant to be. Today, we have another amazing guest. Scott, it is fantastic to have you here with us today.
Ron, thanks for inviting me. I'm really excited about talking to you today.
Awesome. Well, before we dive into it, why don't you introduce yourself to all the champions out there listening today?
My name's Scott Cannon. I'm the CEO of Big Rents. Big Rents is a construction marketplace that serves primarily rentals. Today, I've been with the company for 7 years. Prior to that, I had a logistics background for about 20 years in supply chain management, which is a good segue to the construction and the rental world. Today, we have 14,000 locations across the United States. We serve 90% of the U.S. population within a 30-minute drive, 98% within an hour. And it's been my pleasure to learn this space. It's a really, really difficult space, but one that's quite rewarding.
Awesome. It sounds like you like to be in some chaos from your industry path and trajectory there. That's you like to be in some chaotic industries.
A little bit. I mean, really tech adverse or slow to adopt industries, big industries that have a lot of manual processes, and there's a skill set required to be really good at it. I get to work with some incredibly smart contractors and people that really understand how to run businesses. And then my own background as a child was spent at my grandparents' farm every summer. My dad was military and used to ship us off to the farm. So I have a blue collar blood running through my veins. And I wouldn't say I did anything skilled from a laborer standpoint. I was more the grunt labor. But I certainly hated enough fields, worked on enough equipment, done some pretty undesirable things. And if I can help people be slightly more efficient with their time and help these industries do better and be more productive, that's really my mission.
Awesome, man. Well, let's dive into it. I'm going to ask you the $1 million question, and that is, what makes a construction champion?
Is communication chaos holding your construction business back? Emails, texts, and generic tools weren't built for your business. BuilderComms delivers a platform built for construction. Fully branded, custom workflows, and seamless integration, all designed to fix communication for good. From our free forever plan to your own custom solution, we make construction software not suck. Ready to transform your business? Book your free strategy call today.
Well, construction champion is somebody who will embrace innovation, sort of lean forward, solve inefficiencies, tackle big problems, advocate for smarter ways to work. Big Rents is a champion because we take outdated procurement and processes and empower both contractors and suppliers. Construction champions aren't just the people building. Their champions are ones rethinking how things work, and that's what we're doing at Big Rents.
I love it. How do we get the industry to move that way?
Well, that's $1 million question.
Sorry, I hit you with two of them here today. $2 million questions.
Well, look, construction is about having things show up when they're supposed to, not early, not late. It's an industry that lags other industries in terms of productivity gains, typically 1% to 2% per year, compared to other industries that have gained more. And in the last 50 years, it's pretty much stagnant in terms of productivity. So time is money, and wasting, being inefficient, trying to track down a piece of equipment, where's my materials, trying to figure out everybody's non-transparent pricing to really get what is the actual price, what am I going to actually be charged. It wastes a lot of time. I think it's, the stat I've heard is roughly a third of the work week is spent on non-optimal expenses like that, and it costs the construction industry about $177 billion a year. And our platform, which is AI, and I know it's a buzzword, it's actually in the core of our product, but RA procurement ensures that contractors get the best rates and availability. And like, I hate to use this example because we're not like Uber, but before Uber existed, understanding getting price transparency on taxi equipment, knowing availability was relatively difficult. We eliminate that guesswork and make procurement instant.
So the way we help do this is by making it as simple as possible and as transparent as possible, is what I'm hearing there.
Exactly. I mean, just to demonstrate how our AI works, any contractor can go on our website, put their job site address, put the dates they want the piece of equipment, and click the product item, and the AI works in real time to actually predict what the cost is going to be before we even know who we're going to source it with. And it's predicated on the distance between where something's coming from and where the job site is located, which dictates about up to 40% of the cost of running equipment. And with materials, it's kind of the same thing. Wherever your supply chain you're getting it from, that distance dictates price. And it's the one variable that people don't account for that's not always transparent up front. And it takes a lot of time to get that information. And I think that's where my logistics background has really come in handy, being in this space.
Yeah, I used to operate a construction company, and what I found was like when you build out a team, you're really building out a logistics team. Like when you're that office staff, the people that support the job sites, the guys that do it right, understand logistics, because the stuff has to be there when the crew gets there. It has to be there at the right time. If it's not, you just have people standing around. And I see a lot of guys, like, they don't understand that, like, this is a lot of logistics. Otherwise, you just, that $160 billion you're talking about is just guys sitting there waiting on something to show up to the job site so they can actually work.
Being early is bad too. You don't want materials sitting there where it can get stolen or misused or misplaced. If you look at most of the contractors we serve, I kind of bifurcate contractors into two sides. I like the massive general contractors, the big companies everybody's heard of. They make really good money. They're very profitable. And then you look at specialty trades, like you look at and that's the majority of our customers: electricians, plumbers, HVAC, that whole gamut. The margins are relatively thin, and you're competing for single digit EBITDA numbers, and just having something show up when it's not supposed to could just kill your P&L on that job. And I've seen customers of ours that something didn't show up, and you have an electrician sitting around for 3 or 4 hours, and then they leave, and then you have to send the lift. You have to extend it out another day. It's going to cost you another $1,000, another $1,200. It's just eating margin.
Yeah, that's just because it's the lost opportunity. When I used to find, like, the crew sitting at a project, and then they have to leave because we can't get it done that day. You then have to move other things on your calendar, and you lose opportunity that you can never recover. I mean, you can recover the money from that day, but you can't recover the lost opportunity of doing that work that day and moving on to the next project.
And you potentially could lose a customer as well. It's just not a good feeling to sort of not have things work correctly. So you're right. It is logistics. Every construction company in and itself is a logistics company. It's about getting things moved around where they're supposed to be.
So what have you found to be one of the hardest things with implementing this into construction businesses? Or what's the biggest hurdle for guys to get over?
Well, from a contractor standpoint, it's familiarity, trust. Um, why try something different? If you look at a local contractor, typically has a relationship with a rental company, and it's probably a really good one until you come up with something that they don't have. And typical rental companies either have their earth moving equipment, or it's going to have aerial equipment or forklifts. They don't generally have all of the above. And if you go to the larger national companies, which are incredibly well run, and do a great job, they're typically more expensive because they're bringing the benefit of having that consistent experience across the board. So we've taken a very fragmented space. We have 6,000 rental companies as part of our network. And you can just imagine you're dealing with 6,000 personalities, challenges, ways to do things. One of the ways we tackle that is we're an ISO 9001 company. We're all about quality, constant improvement, trying to get better at what we do. And when we onboard suppliers, we really want to make sure that they have a quality system themselves, that they're taking the equipment back, they're doing the inspection, they're recharging batteries, all the things that can basically go wrong. Placing the equipment exactly where it needs to be, particularly not putting lifts out that are electric, and in the wintertime outdoors, so batteries drain by the time somebody gets on the job site. And then having all those different customers and all those different suppliers, none of these systems talk to each other. So there are almost as many rental software applications as there are rental companies. And then there are a ton of ERPs on the front end for construction as well. So we've had to figure out how to navigate these conversations without, developing everything inclusive, because that would be like boiling the ocean. It would be basically an impossible mission.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the when we talk about just the industry being fragmented, another source of that pain is the amount of different softwares that a lot of companies just refuse to talk, like to let the software talk to other. And I hear that almost every week, sometimes daily, is like, I just wish everything talked to other. Like, it would just make my life so much simpler if the stuff just worked together.
Well, that brings up an interesting segue, because we're a multi-platform company. We have a marketplace for infrequent small contractors to rent on. And we have a Big Rents Plus product where larger contractors that are more traveling contractors do work everywhere. So to get a higher level of service, 24-hour support, that sort of thing, that fit there. And then we've taken the tools that we developed internally, which really answer the question of who should I use and why. And the way we constructed the architecture of the system, it does not just equipment, which day, week, for week, and hourly and so forth, but it actually looks at products, materials, and labor costs. So we've created a UI that a contractor can live in one place with all their own supplier rates and configurations. The system will tell you and render to you who you should use and why you should use it, with some insights that we add in there within our AI algorithm. It's really cool technology. We're close to demoing it live in the public in about a month. And we think it'll do well in the market, and it'll help contractors have a consistent experience all the way through. It doesn't do the scheduling and some of the workflow that other systems do, but I look at it as the sort of connective tissue on a procurement standpoint, where nobody's really addressed that, where we'll be able to give some tools that we use for our own business to allow people to basically do it for themselves as well.
Yeah, it sounds like almost push button job costing at that point in time.
It is. And then, one of the things we do is we have a recent announcement with a company called Permit Flow, because champions don't sort of work in isolation. They collaborate, meaning change, right? And the pre-construction phase is sort of an often overlooked. It's crucial for success. They really focus on permanent delays. But one of the things our system will do is give contractors a better handle on what to charge their customers for certain things based on predicted cost that they may not even know yet. And so I'm going into a new territory. I'm going to build on a Walmart project, 20 Walmarts across the state of North Carolina. They may not have all that cost detail when they make that bid. And then they're scrambling after the fact to try to get the lowest price possible. This just takes all the mystery out of it. It's transparent. Put the information in. It'll drive who you should use and what you should charge your customers, what the market cost is for that lift or product. or, labor. We're excited about it. And then that partnership, just I should mention, we took on a devastating fires out here that, devastated Southern California. We're in a partnership with them to collaborate to help get that rebuilt faster. And we give, I believe it's 10% of our proceeds to Habitat for Humanity to sort of help build. And we're working on a partnership with somebody now to help do the same thing for North Carolina and parts of Tennessee that were devastated by the weather and the hurricane.
Awesome. I love it. And what I'm hearing is no more just pulling numbers out of the air for this kind of stuff. Like you're going to be able to go in there in real time and be able to get a pretty solid baseline of what it's going to cost you, so you can put that stuff in your quote and not just be like, last time it was about this, that might be this time. And you're literally just pouring numbers out of the air, hoping that your bid's correct and you can make a profit on that job.
I mean, that's exactly right. And then for larger contractors where they have, a plethora of suppliers on one site, it does job site aggregation. You can look at everything. If you need to move parts of it, you see the whole job in totality, a holistic view of the job site. It's something we've been working on for a number of years. It's sort of my passion project. And the AI that we use is not your typical large language model. It's more neural networks, looking at graph networks and reinforcement algorithms of where people do things positively, it gets rewarded in the model. Where they do things negative, they get sort of negative impact there. We're excited about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always when you can take something that you've been doing this for 7 years, you take something that as you build your business is now you can bring something else to market that has a fit that you're here. Like here's real time problems and we can help solve them, and being able to take something that you guys used internally and then move that out. That's amazing. I love that.
And Ron, AI is a buzzword. It also scares people too. Nobody in construction should be fearful of AI. It's a tool. It's no different than a rake or a shovel or a piece of equipment. It's, stat I saw from Goldman Sachs said that only 6% of jobs in construction would be displaced by AI, 4% in sort of facilities management. And you juxtapose that with something like retail, where 65% of the jobs are going to be removed. Construction, there's a shortage of good labor. What we're doing is giving people a tool to use to make their lives easier and get out of the Excel spreadsheets, the pieces of paper. When I started in logistics, a company I ran had this whiteboard that ran the whole length of the office. And we had 24 electrical pieces of tape for every 24 hours in a day. And people would print things, put them on magnets and throw them to the next hour something had to happen. And by the time I left that space and sold my company, 80% of all orders came in automatically, were dispatched automatically. We integrated with airlines. We integrated with couriers. We only dealt with the edge cases. In big rents, when I started, I'd say 100% of it was on the telephone. And today, about 70% of our front end orders are automated. They're on a portal or some type of integration. About 40% is automatically dispatched. And I'd like to get those numbers up to 80, 90% and really focus on the edge cases where customers really have a need that requires something that can't be automated. Outside of that, automate the stuff, make it easy, let people save time and money, let it be transparent in terms of cost, and get on to things that make contractors more competitive.
Absolutely. And you're right. AI is a buzzword, and I couldn't agree more with you on it's a tool. Like you should be figuring out how you can use AI to make you better at what you do, make your company better, make your employees better. It really is just another tool that we have that we can utilize, and people can get afraid of it, but it's here. the companies that are figuring out how to use it within their companies you're going to, I think, see rapid growth because it's literally going to make everybody in that company better at what they do and more efficient. So it's nothing to be afraid of unless I guess you don't want to get better or be more efficient as a company.
I think a lot of people struggle with, it's such a buzzword to see these companies go raise a bunch of money based on, we have an AI application, but what does it actually mean? And can you actually apply it to a business need? I think that's the secret sauce. And then it is a tool to be more efficient. And everybody uses AI today. I mean, we write 25% of our code is written by AI. We use AI in some of our marketing materials. We all probably use AI individually on a daily basis just to talk to it and train your model to help you work through things. But that's not really transformative. Being able to actually take real data and apply it to make your business better, that's transformative. And I think all contractors should be putting at least their toe in the water in terms of playing with and being familiar with it. I certainly would not suggest hiring engineers and writing your own code and doing that's the fastest way to go broke. Trust me, I haven't been engineers myself, but it's something that can't be ignored. And it's not the what was that? What's the name from the Terminator? I forget what the company's called. It's not Skynet. It's easier to make us better. And in fact, I think it'll create more jobs, not less.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it is all about the data that you have though. So like I watch guys that are doing nothing think they're just going to be able to get in and AI is going to make their business better. If you don't have any data on your business or anything for it to dive into, it makes it really hard. It's why I'm stressing, but like now is the time. If you are not using software or using anything in your business, you need to start because we need to start accumulating some data sets so you can actually use AI to make educated decisions to let it really help you. If you don't have any of that, once again, you're pouring from the clouds, throwing information in and hoping that it's telling you things that are actually going to move your business forward.
Yeah, hope is not a plan. Our model was trained on over 500,000 actual rental contracts and another 500,000 to 750,000 opportunities on top of that. So we had a significant amount of data to mine, and it's not how the company was set up. The company was set up to be a marketplace. One of the things I identified early is we have all this information, like we got to do something with it. Like there's got to be some value here. So, it would be hard to replicate that individually. And, but the only place to start is today. And I would agree, contractors need to start understanding that their information is valuable and at least store it in a way that can be mined at some point. So you're applying a good application if you're going to use AI to give you real insightful information as opposed to generic. AI still has hallucinations. It still renders a bunch of nonsense sometimes. But if it's based on your own data, it's got a much better chance of being successful.
Yeah, absolutely. It can just take a curveball sometimes. It's why it's important that people are actually paying attention and they're not just copying and pasting things. And it can definitely get interesting out there in that word.
Agreed.
Awesome, man. This has been a great conversation. And we went down the AI road. I wasn't necessarily prepared for that, knowing what you guys are doing. You guys are doing amazing things. So for all the construction champions listening out there, if they wanted to connect with you, learn more about what you do, where's the best places for them to do that?
There's multiple ways. They can go to www.bigrentz.com. There's a number of ways to contact us there. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I put out a plethora of information. I'm not one of those sales bots. I actually just talk about trends and things that are ongoing. And we have a number of sales people that we can connect with as well. I just recommend people take a look at us, play around with the website, see if they like it. And if they want to have an in-depth conversation about some of the products that we're bringing to the market, we'd love to. And at worst case scenario, if we just help each other get better, that's a success too.
Awesome. I do have a real quick question for all of our listeners out there. if they got on your website, and can they get right on there and source equipment or supplies, or what's that process look like to be able to do that?
So today, just equipment. And yes, anybody can go to the website 24 hours a day and procure equipment. It's prepaid when you're a new customer before you've established a credit history. But anybody, you put the job site information in, a couple pieces of information, and check right out, just like you could an Uber experience or anything from an e-commerce experience. Personally, on the B2C side that we're all accustomed to, that's how it has a portal. Anybody can sign up for it. We welcome all contractors.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking the time and being on the show today.
Ron, it was a real pleasure. I really do appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag where we went kind of all over the place when it comes to how you implement stuff into your business. And are you thinking about using AI, the biggest buzzword of 2025? Construction is different than any other industry in everything that we do. We have opportunities to embrace and actually become more efficient. And these opportunities right now where we're at are not going to last forever. You're going to see businesses come in and implement the tools, the processes, the software into their businesses that are just going to make them super efficient. And they're going to blow everybody out of the water. And they're going to make it really, really hard to compete. If you want to continue doing it how you are doing it, and let me tell you, so this is how we used to rent stuff. Is I had a guy that worked 40, 50, 60 hours a week on the phone procuring stuff, whatever we needed for job sites. Like, that was his entire job. And he had multiple spreadsheets of who we would use in different areas. And this place did this, and this is how we do this. And this place, we have to bring cash or a check. They don't take credit cards. And all of this stuff. And it's a logistics job. And he was one of the most stressed out employees in the entire company. Because everything evolved around if he could get this stuff to the job site or not. And I just think back of what it would have been like to be able to have like a big rents, to be able to bring consistency to what he was doing. So we no longer had the chaos around getting stuff to the job site. No more spreadsheets. That is the kind of stuff that is going to change construction businesses. It can change your business. But if you just sit back and use the mantra that we use in the industry so much of, this is just how we've always done it. I've always had this guy over here stressing out for 60 hours a week, trying to pour information from different spreadsheets. And, we got to send cash with a crew. We got to send a check. Or it doesn't have to be that way. With multiple aspects of your business, but you have to be willing to accept that change needs to happen. And that's up to you. And that's why you're listening today, because you want to be a construction champion. And these are the things that will make you a construction champion. So make sure you go check out all of our fantastic partners, like and subscribe. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.
Tired of losing track of promising leads? Struggling to convert inquiries into contracts? Build 12 is your solution. Over 30 years of industry expertise tailored for contractors ensures seamless lead management and nurturing. Boost your closing rate with ease. Experience the efficiency today. Download Build 12 and supercharge your business growth. Don't wait. Act now.
Is communication chaos holding your construction business back? Emails, texts, and generic tools weren't built for your business. BuilderComms delivers a platform built for construction. Fully branded, custom workflows, and seamless integration, all designed to fix communication for good. From our free forever plan to your own custom solution, we make construction software not suck. Ready to transform your business? Book your free strategy call today.
Unlock the potential of property intelligence with HomeTrack. In seconds, generate over 250 data points from a single address using advanced imaging and public data. Streamline property assessments efficiently, saving both time and resources. Enhance your decision-making today. Experience the future of property insights. Engage with HomeTrack now.